Hey, what is up, everybody? Reubin here. My name's Reubin, and welcome back to Heavy Gear Assault. Now, this one, as you can obviously tell, is quite a little bit different from the first video that I did. And hopefully, if you are here, you did watch my first video and saw how much fun myself and the developers actually ended up having with the Play with the Dev sessions that they have every single Friday. Now, the reason for the video is I wanted to explain a little bit about this game. I wanted to basically give credit and props where credit and props is due into the game that is being designed by MegTech Studios. They are the developers behind it, and the publishers behind this game is Stompy Part Productions. Now, these people have been doing an amazing job with a concept that I'm pretty thrilled with. Okay, so first of all, basically, as you can see on our screen over here, this is the beast of I want to call it a gear because that is what they refer to. This is the gear that you basically use in game. Now, this gear, is fully customizable by all of the items you can see on the left of your screen. You can change out the engine core, the head, the torso. You can make different feet individually. You can choose whether you want a light fuel tank or a standard fuel tank. And yes, that is actually a concept in the game that does apply. If you run out of fuel, you will come to a complete standstill. So that is something you have to manage, apart from obviously the fast-paced action, the shooting, the overall overwhelming just awesomeness of the game. That is something that you have to manage as well. Now, in certain aspects of the actual gear itself, yes, different techs have different armor ratings. So if you are going for a tank build, you are obviously looking at something that is a lot heavier, something that can take a lot more damage. Obviously, that does come at the sacrifice of speed itself. So for example, if we move over to the Hunter over here, this is a bit of a faster design, but not quite as fast. Now, the one I personally go for is my Jaeger over here. It is basically the Spitting Cobra design from head to toe, and this is a heavy tank. Slow as fuck, but can take a beating and obviously hand one out in the process as well. Okay, so basically, in short, Heavy Gear Assault is about you controlling a multi-ton war machine known as gears. Now, all the gears have a secondary movement system, otherwise known as the SMS, in a form of either wheels or tread on their feet. So it's basically a secondary movement system. As you can see, I've got treads under my feet, and this basically just allows different movements. So you can either run, if you're not using the jump jets which you have on your back, which you can see I have actually got mortars and not jump jets. This just allows for different movement styles so you can move fluently while still shooting. Obviously, it does make it a little bit more difficult, but that's all part of the learning curve of the game itself. Now, this game was released on Steam on the 10th of February 2017, and all of the reviews that have been done on the game have been mostly positive. Even the people that gave it negative reviews said that the game holds a shitload of potential, and that is obviously what we want in a game, something that is early access. And when I say early access, I mean early access. It comes with all the early access problems about crashes and certain bugs and glitches that you are going to come across, but this is something that I can honestly say MegTech Studios have said that they are actively working on. They've just recently released an update that obviously improves the game and the overall feel of the game itself as well, and they are actively always working on making this game just that much better. So obviously, when in game, you have the option of playing between first or third person, and you get the option of quite a different couple of weapons. I mean, if you go over to the weapons, you can actually have a look here. Now, I personally go for the heavy Gatling gun. Now, that is the very heavy autocannon. That's this beast that you see on the back of here. It's a two-handed weapon. I do have the option actually of carrying another two small sidearms, but I don't because I mainly focus on this weapon. I personally feel it packs more punch. Obviously, the developers might know better than that or better than I do, but this is the weapon, my weapon of choice. Apart from that, we have got the heavy Gatling laser, same concept. Instead of ballistics, it is lasers. Heavy flamethrower, we have got laser cannons, light auto cannons. You've got rocket pods that you can mount on your shoulder, between medium, large, and once again medium, obviously just a different amount of rockets. Then the actual gear itself, once again, you can fully customize it and choose what you like, and then obviously go to the paint shops and actually paint out your mech the way you want it. Now that can be anything, and it's not only just the steel itself. You can actually choose what material your gear is made of. For example, we've got things like rubber. Now, obviously, that changes the overall aspect of the game. You've got your gold, you've got black rubber, nylon, carbon fiber. Go for the carbon fiber look. We'll change out the color a bit to be more red. I mean, there is so much personalization that you can do on these gears to make it your own and play the exact way that you want to play the game. Now, once again, I do have to just reiterate, it is early access, but don't let that stop it from or take anything away from how awesome this game actually is. I mean, the video that you guys saw where we played on Friday night, that was simply done with the developers. Now, this happens every single Friday night, and apart from it being absolute fun, and apart from it just being a session where we can all fuck around, have some fun, and just show off the game, because as far as I'm aware, one of the other developers that plays with us, he streams, I record, and we obviously try and get the exposure for the game out there. Now, in these sessions, apart from it being so much fun, and apart from us just fucking around and just being, well, some of us useless, some of us great, this is also a session where we can test the game, and where the developers can test the game and find any bugs and try and focus on what else there is that we can do to obviously better the game and better the product that you guys can then obviously go to Steam and buy. I mean, that's one thing that I've always said a developer has to do. Firstly, listen to what the people want. Listen to what the people obviously who are going to be buying your game. Listen to what they want from a game such as this. And yes, the developers are listening, and they are truly focusing on trying to make it one of the best mech first-person shooters, well, or third-person shooters out there. And I honestly believe that they are well on their way on doing exactly that. Now, while I'm busy talking to you over here, I'm going to try and build myself like an Iron Man build, but that looks a bit too pink for my liking, so we maybe go for something like that. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the video itself, we play on one map that is in the forest. Now, that map alone is absolutely massive. And obviously, the more people you've got on the server itself, the more fun it will be. But even then, playing with just a limited amount of people on the server still makes it a lot of fun. Quite simply because, well, it makes the hunting a little bit easier, because there's no mini-map, there's nothing that's going to help you out in trying to find the person. It's not a case where the person pops off around and a red dot shows up on the mini-map and you can tell exactly where they are. You could quite easily walk into an ambush without you even knowing about it. And it was actually displayed very, very well. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. It was actually displayed very, very well in the video of us playing, because I personally believe that I walked into one. I could be wrong, but I actually personally believe that I was one of the people who walked into a trap. Now, my Iron Man build is getting somewhat longer. It's probably horrible, and it's probably going to stick out like a sore thumb, but who cares? Obviously, I get to personalize this exactly the way I want to. If we just have a look at some of the controls. I mean, there are a shitload of controls. Now, this is just on the standard layout. This is just the standard layout. Now, you do get the more advanced layout. Unfortunately, I am not that advanced. The developers use those advanced control presets. But as you can see, there are quite a lot of controls that obviously impact the game and how you play and how you move and how you accomplish exactly that it is you want to accomplish in the game. And also, once again, going into over here, we have obviously all the servers that you can choose to join. There is a basic tutorial that will help you in understanding the fundamentals of the game itself. And then obviously you do have your team deathmatch, you do have your annexation, you do have different game types as well, obviously. And then you've got your Bruins Ball and you've got your wave survival. So obviously there are different game styles that you can choose of, or you can just join in, jump into a couple of servers and have a look what is out there. Now, you'd also think, and what's normally one of the biggest problems is you'd think that with an early access game, there isn't going to be a lot of movement on the servers. You're going to be waiting a lot for games where there's empty servers and you're going to be waiting for a game. That's not actually the case. In Heavy Gear Assault, there are quite a couple of servers. And if we have a look over here, quite a couple of the servers are quite busy at the moment. So there's always, 9 times out of 10, somebody to play with. Unfortunately, for someone like myself who is situated in South Africa, there isn't a server close by to me. So I normally have to deal with about a 300 to 500 millisecond ping, but obviously that can be worked around. All you have to do is just take into consideration the lag itself. So if you're aiming for somebody who's moving east to west, aim a little bit more ahead of them than what you normally would, just to compensate for that lag, but it doesn't take away from the experience at all. Okay, now that we are on this page, now this is the parts place. This is the marketplace itself. As you can see in the top right hand corner under my name, I've got a form of currency over there. Now, as you can see on the screen, this is where our parts are, and this is where it will introduce. Obviously, as you can see, it's coming soon. This is where you will actually be able to buy parts for your tech in order to upgrade it, to make it look better, to make it cleaner, to make it smoother. As it stands at the moment, all the available tech pieces are available to you straight away. So you can choose out any part as it begins. Now, as you can see, you've got your parts, you've got your striders. Now, obviously, this is all things that they are planning on implementing into the game. So as you can see, the developers have got direction. They know where they want to take this game. They have got so much planned for the future. Obviously, there are a couple of things that are confirmed. There are a couple of things that aren't confirmed and some things that I can't mention right now. But there is movement. There is direction. They aren't just doing updates on a weekly or monthly basis just for the shits and giggles of it. They've actually got a direction that they want to go, and they've got a goal that they want to accomplish. Now, once again, that comes back to what the developer or what a person wants from a developer. Firstly, to always be working on the game and to updating the game and basically fixing all the bugs and glitches that there possibly are. That comes with being an early access game. And also, once again, like I did mention, is most importantly, is listening to basically the people that are going to be paying the money for the game, the people that are going to be supporting the game, the people that are going to be playing the game on a regular basis. I mean, I think in total I've got, just under 10 hours of gameplay into this. 2 hours of it was one night straight away on the play with the devs night, and it's so much fun. The game itself, the action itself, how beautiful the game is. Okay, so coming back to the customization of these gears. Now, different parts do different things. Not in the case of actual abilities, but in the case of movement and armor protection. Now, I'm not sure if the developers have actually implemented as it stands by the time I'm recording this video, or if it is something that is still coming in the future. But obviously, the thicker your armor, the thicker you are, the more of a tank build you've gone for, the slower you are going to be. And it is going to be exactly like that. Now, obviously, the heavier you are, the more of a tank build you've designed and gone for, the more of a beating you will be able to take. And obviously, with the heavy Gatling gun, with the skill of you as the controller yourself, obviously it means you can do quite a lot of damage. However, obviously that means it comes at the downside with the con of being stupidly slow. Now, that will obviously come into play if somebody has gone for a lighter build, a more mobile build, means they'll be able to scurry around a lot quicker and get around you and move and flank you with ease. Now, remember, things like the rocket pods on your shoulders and the mortars and that, all of this actively comes into play while you're busy playing. And I tell you what, if you are caught in the area of where those mortars end up landing, those things are devastating. I have had my ass handed to me on more than one occasion by those mortars and those rockets. I think my very first kill in the previous video was done by those rockets. Creeped up behind somebody and just unloaded an entire pod into the back of that person and killed them. And that, once again, coming to the death and coming to the damage that these gears can take. Remember, you're in a multi-ton human-controlled mech, if you want to call it that, this titan of a machine. So you can take quite a lot of damage. So it's not like most first-person shooters where 3 or 4 rounds in the chest or 1 round in the head is considered permanent death. No. These guys can take a beating. And when I say they can take a beating, I mean you can end up reloading about 6 or 7 times before you actually take the person down, depending on how accurate you are or how shit of a shot you actually end up being. Okay, so as you can see here in front of us, we have got the cheetah build. Now, the cheetah build is one of your faster builds. quite clearly, just by making the change between the two, you can see that there is a massive difference. The build of the Spitting Cobra that I play with is a beast, is a massive thing. It's a tank. And obviously then we've got the Hunter, which is, sorry, not the Hunter, the Cheetah, which is a lot smaller, but obviously 10 times faster. And as you can see, this one has got two smaller sidearms on the side, a sidearm in reserve on its back, and then instead of having mortars, it has got jump jets. So this is agility, this is movement, this is getting in and out as quick and as fast as possible, so you don't get pinned down by your heavier tanks that are rolling around. And obviously with a whole bunch of different builds rolling around on the battlefield, the fights can get interesting. Okay, so that is just it that I wanted to cover in regards to the game itself, in regards to what the developers have got planned, and the idea and the direction that this game is going. And I cannot explain how excited and stoked I am for what this game is going to become, and the direction that it is going. Now, this video is a little bit different. I know that the previous video on Heavy Gear Assault was this awesome action-packed video, and that will be coming back. I will be doing regular covers on this game weekly. Actually, there will be one video released every single Sunday at 8 o'clock. I think it's Central African time. Yeah, 8 o'clock Central African time. A video will be released on this game showing off how much the game has progressed from the last time we played. Now, only reason I haven't done a video this time is unfortunately the developers weren't available to do a play with the dev session, but we will be back the following week with more content and more awesomeness of this game with the right amount of effort and the right amount of work put into it. And obviously what the developers are doing at the moment, I have got no doubts that this game is going to become absolutely amazing. Now, I'm not being paid to say any of this. This is not being spade. I'm not being paid by any of this, and this is not sponsored. This is quite simply an opinion of a person that got involved with the game and is truly enjoying it for what it is. The link for the game will be in the description below. You guys can go buy it yourselves and try it out for yourselves, and then you can be the judge of how awesome this game actually is. Personally, for myself, I'm loving it. I'm having a lot of fun playing with the developers. I'm having a lot of fun recording the videos for this game. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it because obviously you guys are enjoying it because it's the most viewed video on my YouTube channel. But that is about it from my side today. It's short, it's sweet, there's not too much detail, and it's not so much full of action as the last one was. But this is simply explaining a little bit about the game itself. Now, if you guys enjoyed that, by all means, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. But obviously, until then, cheers.